The hidden dangers in our food: heavy metals and pesticides. Every day, we consume foods that nourish our bodies with essential nutrients. However, many of these foods also carry hidden toxins, such as heavy metals and pesticides, that slowly build up in our system over time. Though often undetectable, prolonged exposure to these harmful substances has been scientifically linked to severe health issues, including neurological disorders, cancer, kidney disease, developmental delays, hormonal imbalances, and weakened immune function. These contaminants silently build up in the body over months or even years, causing chronic toxicity. Scientific studies have shown that chronic exposure to heavy metals and pesticides, even at low levels, leads to long-term health complications. Heavy metals can replace essential minerals in our bodies, interfering with biological processes. Pesticides, designed to kill pests, often act as endocrine disruptors and neurotoxins, harming human health in ways we are just beginning to understand. Where do these contaminants come from? How do they enter our food? What are the safe limits, and can we actually avoid them? Let's take a deep dive into the science behind these hidden threats. What are heavy metals, and why are they harmful? Heavy metals are natural elements found in the environment. Some, like iron, zinc, and copper, are essential for human health in trace amounts. However, some others, such as lead, arsenic, mercury, and cadmium, are toxic. They accumulate in organs and cause severe damage over time. These metals do not break down and accumulate in soil, water, and air, eventually entering the food chain. Because they bind to proteins and enzymes, they disrupt cell functions and interfere with DNA repair mechanisms, increasing the risk of cancer and other diseases. How do heavy metals enter our food? Soil and water contamination is the first way of taking in the heavy metals. In industrial waste, mining, and fossil fuel combustion deposit metals into soil and groundwater. Crops absorb them during growth, and when we eat crop-based products, they enter our physiological system. Pesticides and fertilizers, particularly some older pesticides, contained lead and arsenic, and fertilizers derived from phosphate rocks can be high in cadmium. Food processing and packaging that contain heavy metals leach into food from equipment, pipes, storage containers, and even colored food packaging. Seafood contamination is another way of getting heavy metals. Mercury bioaccumulates in fish due to industrial runoff, coal burning, and ocean pollution. What are the health effects of heavy metals? Lead, which is found in root vegetables, leafy greens, spices, and contaminated drinking water, acts as a neurotoxin affecting the brain and nervous system, linked to IQ reduction, behavioral issues, and kidney damage. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention states that there is no safe level of lead exposure, especially for children. World Health Organization and FDA recommend a limit of 0.01 milligrams per liter in water and 0.1 ppm in food. Rice, seafood, apples, and drinking water can contain arsenic, especially in regions with arsenic-rich groundwater, for example, India, Bangladesh, and parts of the US. Chronic exposure causes cancer, cardiovascular disease, skin lesions, and diabetes. It affects mitochondrial function, leading to oxidative stress and DNA damage. The FDA allows 10 ppb in drinking water and 0.2 ppm in rice. However, studies show that arsenic levels in rice can exceed this, particularly in regions with high soil contamination. Mercury is found in large predatory fish like tuna, shark, and swordfish due to bioaccumulation in marine ecosystems. Mercury binds to sulfhydryl groups in proteins, disrupting enzyme function and damaging neurons. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, leading to memory loss, tremors, cognitive decline, and birth defects. The FDA allows 1 ppm in fish, but even at lower levels, methylmercury is highly toxic. Pregnant women are advised to limit seafood intake due to fetal neurotoxicity risks. Cadmium is found in leafy greens, grains, nuts, and shellfish, often due to industrial pollution and phosphate fertilizers. It damages kidneys, weakens bones, osteomalacia, and causes lung diseases. It mimics calcium, accumulating in bones and increasing fracture risks. World Health Organization limits of 0.1 ppm in leafy vegetables and less than 0.05 milligram per kilogram in rice. How to reduce heavy metal exposure? Buy organic and tested foods. Organic foods have lower contamination levels. Wash and soak rice and vegetables. Rinsing rice before cooking reduces arsenic by 30 to 50%. Limit consumption of high-mercury fish. Choose smaller fish like sardines instead of tuna. Use filtered water. Reverse osmosis filters remove heavy metals. Diversify your diet. It reduces accumulation of specific toxins. We talk about heavy metals, but what are pesticides and why are they harmful? Pesticides are substances that are used to control pests. They include herbicides, insecticides, nematicides, fungicides, and many others. The most common of these are herbicides, which account for approximately 50% of all pesticide use globally. However, their impact extends beyond pests, as they can also harm human health by disrupting hormones, damaging DNA, and impairing neurological function. Some pesticides are persistent organic pollutants, meaning they remain in the environment for decades. These include DDT, aldrin, and dieldrin, all of which have been linked to cancer and reproductive disorders. How do pesticides enter our food? Direct spraying, as farmers spray crops with pesticides, and residues remain even after washing. Livestock feed and pesticide-treated grains are consumed by animals, passing chemicals into meat, milk, and eggs. Groundwater and water supplies contaminated by leached pesticides, affecting crops and drinking water. What are the health effects of common pesticides? Chlorpyrifos, that is found in strawberries, apples, and spinach, is linked to brain damage, reduced IQ, and ADHD in children. It is banned in many countries but still used in some agricultural regions. Glyphosate is present in grains like wheat and oats. It is a probable carcinogen, IARC classification, linked to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Organophosphates and carbamates are found in grapes, potatoes, and tomatoes. They both act as neurotoxins, interfering with acetylcholinesterase, leading to memory loss and muscle dysfunction. Is there any regulation and safe limits of pesticides? Chlorpyrifos is banned in the EU and US, but still detected in imported produce. Glyphosate is limited to 0.1 ppm in grains by World Health Organization, but studies show residues exceeding this in some processed foods. In this video, we only covered some of the most common and widely used pesticides, but many others are also utilized in agricultural practices. How to reduce pesticide exposure? Buy organic whenever possible. Organic farming prohibits synthetic pesticides. Washing and peeling fruits and vegetables reduces pesticide residues. Grow your own food. It ensures full control over pesticide use. Follow the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list. They are two lists published annually by the Environmental Working Group to help consumers make informed choices about produce and pesticide exposure. They help prioritize which foods to buy organic. How can we protect ourselves? By making informed choices, we can significantly reduce exposure. Choose organic and lab-tested foods. Wash, soak, and peel produce. Filter water to remove contaminants. Limit higher-risk foods, like tuna and rice. Advocate for stricter regulations. By demanding cleaner food systems and stricter policies, we can protect ourselves and future generations from the long-term impact of toxic exposure. If you found this video helpful, feel free to share it with your friends, family, and anyone who might benefit from this information. Please like, share, and subscribe for more informative content.